Hello, welcome to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today's show is Real Women Have Curves, the musical. Now, I have a bunch of caveats to get into. I just saw this show. I'm leaving for a wedding in less than 5 hours. That's overseas. I'm going to be on a plane for 11 hours. And I just wanted to get this review out the door. So this is going to be a little scattered as I just came from the play. Also, I did not see a press preview. The first press preview begins in 3 days, but because I was going to be away, I came to an earlier preview. I don't want to say unfortunate because I love the people who are in this play, but I did not see the lead, Tatiana Cordoba, the actor who plays the role of Anna Garcia. I saw Elisa Galindez instead, and she has gone on about 5 times already during previews, so she was well rehearsed and really great. Also, the role of Mrs. Wright was played by Claudia Moulet. So, this is not going to be a definitive review because I felt the show was still very much in flux, even though they only have 3 days till press previews begin. I felt that there's a lot of work that still needs to be done and that I'm sure will be done. And so I don't want to comment on things that I think are going to be fixed in the next 3 days. So I want to actually come back and see the show again after it opens and after it has a minute to settle. So this show is based on a movie and a play that was written by Josefina Lopez. She wrote this play when she was 19 years old about her experience of working in her sister's dress factory in Los Angeles. And it was later turned into a film in 2002 starring America Ferrera. And the screenplay for that movie was co-written by Lopez and George LaVue. As per usual, I went into seeing this show not knowing anything about it. I'm not familiar with the play or the movie that it's based on. So what is Real Women Have Curves about? Well, it follows our main character of Anna Garcia and her relationship with her mother. Anna has dreams of becoming a great journalist and she wants to go off to college at Columbia because she has secretly applied and been accepted and gotten a full ride scholarship. But her mother wants her to stay in Los Angeles and help her sister at her dress factory where they're short workers. Anna's sister Estella has just gotten a really big opportunity to create 200 dresses for a buyer, but they have very little time, I believe 3 weeks to do this. She really needs her sister's help in the dress factory. Although I do have to say it was a little confusing because Estella kept saying she didn't feel like she needed Anna's help, and I think maybe this was because she knew that Anna had this opportunity to go to college. Didn't quite follow that. But the mother, Carmen, is insistent that Anna needs to help the family and to work in the dress factory. So that's the main conflict that we have in the play. And I love that they added the ticking clock of these 200 dresses being due in a matter of weeks so that there is a sense of urgency throughout the play. Very smart. Although one of these problems with musicals is you need the ticking clock, but at the same time, it's always weird in musicals where people stop what they're doing and break out into song and dance, and I'm like, you should be making dresses! But we'll let that go. What was unusual about this musical is that I thought the second act was a lot better than the first act, and usually it's the reverse. But I felt like the time it was taking them to get the exposition out and to slowly build us up wasn't holding my interest as well as the second act where things were really getting down to the wire and the drama was really happening. Also, there were some really funny comic songs in the second act, and I really felt we could have used some of that comedy in the first act. One of the challenges they have with this show is that it's about a bunch of Spanish-speaking women working in this dress factory, and I'm sure the movie and the play dealt with this as well, but in reality they would be speaking Spanish. So they do this kind of thing where they speak English but they throw in a lot of Spanish words so it gets kind of that flavor. I thought that worked for the most part, although when they started to sing, often some of these characters would lose their Spanish accents and their vocabulary would get better whenever they launched into a song. There was a little bit of a disconnect, I felt, between the book writing and the songs in the show. The scene would be going along and all of a sudden they would start singing about something and you'd be like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to do a song now. And the song would be good and the scene would be good, but they didn't quite lead into each other in a really satisfying way. The same thing also happened with some of the choreography in the show. There's not a lot of dance in the show, which is Interesting because Sergio Trujillo is the director and he's mainly known as a choreographer. I believe this is his Broadway debut as a director. He won the Tony Award for choreography for Ain't Too Proud. So really good choreographer, but there's not a lot of choreography in this show. I also was surprised a little bit at how static some of the scenes were. A lot of times the women would end up downstage standing in a line, saying their lines kind of out at the audience instead of towards each other, especially when they would start singing. I felt like they were singing to us as the audience instead of the character that needed to be hearing what they were saying. And a lot of the songs too were also written in a way that I wasn't sure if they were written to be delivered to another character on stage or if it was more like the character just expressing their emotions out into the void. I really want to give this show a good review, and I am giving it a good review. I don't say thumbs up, thumbs down, but I'm saying thumbs up for this show because I think it is a very good story, and I think this story works as a musical. Also, this story is about illegal immigrants working in a dress factory. When do we see that play? When is that seen on TV? This is a story that needs to be told at this time. It's a world that I think a lot of us don't really get to see unless you're actually living in it. So it captures the fear and the uncertainty that these people are living in. And I think it's important, especially as we discuss immigration reform in this country, to really be able to empathize with the plights of these people who are wanting to come to this country to make a better life for themselves and to contribute to this country. Let's talk about the actors for a minute. They're all really great. I especially stand out is Carmen, the mother. Mothers are the best roles to play because they're older and they have their beliefs, stand very firm in them. They have opinions. They have a lot of fun catchphrases. So I thought the actor who plays Carmen, Justina Machado, you're gonna have to help me with my Spanish. She was fantastic. Also, the understudy, Elisa Galindez, incredible voice. If I hadn't read that she was the understudy, would have had no idea. She was really great. Just in general, it's a really good ensemble in the show, an ensemble of women. The men's roles are pretty secondary, as they should be in a show called Real Women Have Curves. So was I bored? Was I confused? I wasn't bored during the show. My interest in the first act did wane a little bit, or I felt a little uncertain about where we were going. It wasn't like a stone gathering momentum. It was a lot of, let's set up this world, let's introduce these characters. And it's a musical. I was ready to get going. And they launched into a few songs that didn't always go from A to B. And I feel like at the beginning of the musical, songs really need to move that plot forward. You can take some time later in the second act and other places to have songs that are more reflective or are just comic songs, but I really wanted to get us moving. If I sound a little uncertain about the show, it's because I'm expecting it to get better. And also, this is the last show I'm seeing of the 24-25 season. And there hasn't been a singular musical that really stood out to me as just being all around amazing. We'll get into this in a minute when I do my season review. But there were a lot of shows that had really great aspects to them, a really great score, a really great comedy, or really great dancing. But there hasn't been a musical that I just was like, what a great musical. And I was really hoping this would be it. And I think it has the potential to be that. But what I saw tonight, I felt like the whole was less than the sum of its parts. I feel like there's so much talent here. I feel like there's some great scenes, there's great songs, there's great dancing, there's all these great things, but they're not really working together. And I don't know if this fault lies at the feet of the producer for not putting together the right team, or if they haven't had enough time yet, or if the director didn't have a really clear vision for it. It's like so close. And I know this has been in development for many years. I actually did some research and I saw that they changed quite a few songs from the show and they've made some character changes and they've added a character that's not in the original play. And so they're working hard on this. In a way, I almost felt like I was watching, these women are like frantic to get these dresses made in time. And I kind of felt that about the show as well. I feel like they're on the final stretch and they are frantic to get this show to pull together. And so I'm hoping that they can continue in that direction. Although I do think there needs to be some attention paid to just how we get in and out of these songs and then how the song has a trajectory. One thing I did miss a little bit, I wanted a little more interaction between Anna and her mother. I just felt like there was a little more to mine there. But Anna's being pulled in so many different directions, both the character and both the actor, because she's working in the dress factory. She's doing an internship. She's has a boy that's interested in her, that she's dealing with that. So there's just a lot going on in her life. But I really felt like probably the heart of this show is a daughter-mother story. And so I wanted a little more, maybe a song or something that would really help me to understand their relationship and that main conflict we're having. So let me wrap this up with tickets. I knew that I wanted to see it right before I had to get on a plane. So I just went ahead and I bought a ticket on TodayTix. I got it up in the balcony, and I love this theater because the balcony is so steep and it's not far from the stage. There was empty seats in the mezzanine. I could have moved down, didn't want to. Thought the show was great from the balcony. So score a ticket anywhere in this theater. Doesn't matter where you are. I think you'll be able to see the show really well and enjoy it. I want this show to succeed because I think it's an important story. I think the story itself is a really good story, a very moving story. I really loved these characters. I was on board with them for that second act. I wanted everybody to be happy. So go check out Real Women Have Curves, the musical, playing at the James Earl Jones Theater.
Don't bore me, don't confuse me. If you do, then you'll lose me. Don't wanna drift away, wanna stay inside the play. Keep me engaged.